I've got nothing. How about you, Wise?
Looks like this isn't something that can be solved with a quick trip to the port. But since we're here, how about we try playing the harmonica? I'm not sure what good it'll do, but if it doesn't work, we'll just buy some fries and head back home.
I agree. Playing the harmonica and buying fries, both are officially your job now.
I guess there's no saying no to you. Fine. But just so you know, I'm not good at it, so don't blame me if it sounds terrible.
That was pretty painful. And it didn't do a thing. Let's just grab some fries and call it a day.
Excuse me. Were you the ones playing the harmonica just now?
Sorry for my brother making a bit of a ruckus. We'll just... Wait. You're the person in the photo. When did you... I didn't even hear any footsteps.
My apologies. Moving quietly is second nature to me. I didn't mean to startle you. If I may ask, where did you learn that melody?
Actually, we're proxies. The song was given to us by our client. We didn't expect it to help us find you. Our client is looking for you, you see. Why don't we discuss the details somewhere else?
I see. Please lead the way. I'd also like to meet this client of yours.
Why don't we head back to the store?
Okay, let's go check in with Shepard. Oh, I almost forgot. Your name is...
My real name. I haven't used that in a long time, but I do have a code name. You can call me Charon.
Miss Charon, I've already contacted the information broker who issued the commission. Once he gets here, it shouldn't be long before you can meet the client. Feel free to have a seat on the couch. I'll grab you something to drink.
Thank you, but please, don't mind me. By the way, the second row from the top on your TV wall, third unit from the left, it has a connection issue. You might want to check it out when you have time.
Let me see... You're right. How did you pick up on that? I thought there was some lag lately.
I rely on my hearing. I lost most of my vision in an accident. I can just about make out the outlines of my surroundings. To move around like an average citizen, I've trained my other senses to be extremely sharp. I heard a faint buzzing sound. By moving around the room and noticing the change in sound, I was able to pinpoint the location of the faulty TV.
Sorry. I hope my question didn't seem rude.
No need to apologize. Vision isn't the only way to perceive the world. As proxies, you too should know that better than most. Anything that can be seen with your eyes can never be considered a secret.
It's me again! You two found the target already? Wow, Phaethon, you guys are incredible. If you're always this fast, you could take on anything.
I didn't expect things to move so quickly either, but it's nothing, really. By the way, didn't the client come with you? Charon here would like to meet them.
Where to start? It's great that you were able to find the woman in the photo, but there's a new problem. I can't get in touch with the client anymore. There's been no reply from his knock-knock account since yesterday. I brushed it off at first, but there's still no reply today. Just when I thought he might have skipped town, his account suddenly sent me a location, the edge of a hollow. Who sends something like that in normal circumstances?
From what you're saying, it sounds like the client ran into some kind of trouble tied to the hollow. But we can't jump to conclusions just yet.
Either way, I'll keep trying to reach the client. I hope he's alright. Let's stay in touch for now. We won't be wrapping up this commission for a while.
Sorry, but I overheard your conversation. Could you share that location with me? If I investigate the hollow, I might pick up some clues.
You're Miss Charon? No offense, but the hollow isn't somewhere just anyone can waltz into. Without a carrot or combat personnel, it's a death trap. You should wait.
I'm a soldier. I served with the Air Defense Force under the Chrysoberyl Division. Even after retiring, I've made countless trips into the hollow. You can trust in my combat skills. The heart rates of you and the two proxies here seem to have just spiked. Don't worry. My military days are far behind me. I have no current ties with them. As for getting into the hollow, proxies, can I request your assistance? I don't know anyone else who could guide me. I'll pay the commission fee as best I can. If you don't want to be involved, that's fine. I'll think of something.
We're just as eager to find the client. After all, no client, no payment. Besides, if we said no, you'd still head into the hollow alone, wouldn't you?
How did you know?
So I was right. You remind me of how Belle and I used to be. So fixated on finding someone that nothing else mattered, not even your own safety. Well, since Miss Charon wants to investigate, I'm willing to act as the proxy for no additional fee. Just leave it to us, Shepard.
I see. That works for me. With the client still unreachable, my hands are tied. Please, look into the hollow, and be careful.
I'm really sorry for troubling you both. Finding this client is very important to me, so I may have acted a bit out of line just now.
Don't worry about it. Seeing how determined you are to find this person, we can't just sit back and do nothing. Let's work together to find them.
This is the path I follow.
Is the concert? The stage will be mine. Ooh, we really
Eradicate all evil.
I shall follow your orders.
Miss Charon, I need some time to calculate the hollow route.
Leave this to me, Proxy. Actually, I've been to this hollow before for reasons. I still remember the way forward clear as day. Adjusting for wind.
And oh, why don't you wait just a little longer? Calculating a path doesn't take that long.
The path ahead. It should be right around here. I wasn't here too long ago.
Be gone!
One moment, Proxy. I might have misremembered. I just need to think.
one step away!
I'm sure you're well aware that hollows undergo periodic spatial distortion.
Sorry for being so presumptuous, Proxy. I got ahead of myself and made things difficult for you.
By the way, Miss Charon, how are you so fluid when you move and fight? Is it because of your exceptional hearing and tactile senses?
That's one part of it. In fact, my eyes gained some unique abilities as they changed.
Wait, something's up ahead. What could have happened? Who did this?
Given the depth of the wound and the caliber of the bullet, the killer was a sniper, just like me.
The surrounding ether levels have increased significantly. What's going on? Hold on. Let me find what's causing the ether level increase. Up ahead, there are multiple devices leaking ether non-stop.
Those are high-pressure ether storage tanks, filled with highly...
All high-pressure ether tanks have been disabled. We can keep moving.
Proxy, there are 4 people over here. They're all still alive. I'm not detecting any ether fluctuations from any other life forms nearby.
They're still survivors. Charon, can you check their condition?
Confirmed. 1 is seriously injured. A bullet pierced their lung. The other 3? No internal injuries, just a few minor wounds. They're all unconscious. The one with severe wounds. His etheric fluctuations are nearly completely gone. He's beyond saving.
Who are you? Help me. It hurts. So cold. I don't want to die.
Is there nothing else we can do? If we contact the hospital and get him out of the hollow right away...
His internal organs are ruptured. He'll bleed out long before we can get him out. No rescue team can beat the clock when life fades this fast.
Am I dying? I just want to go home.
get hurt fighting earlier?
I'm fine, don't worry about me. As I mentioned before, these eyes of mine have their uses, but they bring just as much inconvenience. The rejection reaction you saw just now was one of them. Staring into death. It's not something I handle well.
My head. Where am I? Who are you people? I remember now. There was a madman, a lunatic who tied me up and dragged me into the hollow. You're not.
I'm not the lunatic you're talking about. Can you stand? There are 2 more unconscious survivors here. If you can, help us carry one of them. Let's get out of here together.
Leave? We can leave this place? What about that lunatic who shot at me from the shadows?
Looks like the person behind this has already left. Charon, let's get the survivors out of here. Follow me.
Thank you all for assisting me, even though I'm a stranger. You've given me valuable information.
It's the least we can do after you saved our lives. If there's anything else you want to ask, go right ahead.
I do have some questions left to ask. Before that, could the three of you introduce yourselves? I'd like to see if there's a pattern to how the killer chose their targets.
I'll go first. My name's Zoe. I used to be a soldier in the Defense Force, but now I'm just working a regular desk job at a private company. Don't let that fool you, though. I've earned my stripes.
I'm Jesse, currently working as an internet information broker. I'm still pretty new at it, though, so I can't think of any reason someone would target me.
My turn? I'm Erin. I was also in the Defense Force, but now I'm unemployed. Actually, I have a question for you all. Did you see my friend when you were in the Hollow? She's about my height, with shoulder-length blonde hair and a mole under her eye. We were kidnapped together, but I can't find her anywhere now.
If I'm not mistaken, we didn't come across anyone like that in the Hollow, among both the survivors or the bodies.
It's all right. I'll keep looking. I hope she's okay. We were always inseparable. We even planned to visit Scott Outpost together for Remembrance Day. I never thought something like this would happen.
Remembrance Day? What's that?
As the name suggests, it's a day organized by the Defense Force for the families of deceased soldiers and veterans. People gather to mourn their loved ones who died in the fall of the old capital and find comfort in each other's company.
I didn't know the Defense Force did that. Huh. Maybe I should go check it out.
If I can't find her anywhere else, I'll head to Remembrance Day alone. Maybe she'll show up there. Was your missing friend also a member of the Defense Force? Yes, she and I were in the same squad. Obsidian Division's Cartis squad.
This sounds like a series of murders targeting the Defense Force. But then, Jesse wasn't with the Defense Force.
No, you're probably not far off. Jesse claims to have been up front, but he neglected to mention he was once part of the Defense Force. Right, Jesse?
Well, that's... I just don't like bringing up my past in the Defense Force. It's not like I'm trying to hide it. They're just memories from my time there that I'd rather forget. I was part of Obsidian Division's Noct Squad. That's the absolute truth.
I was also in the Obsidian Division, Impura Squad. I don't know who those who died in the Hollow were, but it seems the killer really is targeting members of the Defense Force.
Wait a second. If I remember correctly, during the fall of the old capital, didn't our three squads work together on a mission outside Hollow Zero?
We did? I don't really remember.
I have a vague memory of it, but there were so many people on the mission, I don't remember your faces.
Thank you all for the information. I'm starting to see a pattern in the killer's choice of targets. But there's something else I need to ask. I came to this hollow because someone I'm searching for sent me its location. And that person was likely being held by the killer as well. Did you happen to see anyone else?
You're not giving us much to go on. At least tell us what kind of person you're looking for. Male or female, what they look like. Can't offer much help without that.
Sorry, I don't have much else to share. Even so, if any of you remember anything else that may be useful, please let me know. This is very important to me. You don't even know who they are, yet you're so determined to find them. Is it really going to be an issue if you can't find this person? Maybe. I've been searching for someone for a long time. They might be the key to achieving my goal.
I see. Whatever happens, I hope you find them. If there's anything I can do to help, just let me know.
Thank you. But please, prioritize your own safety. If the killer is targeting former Defense Force members, There's a good chance they'll come after you again. Stay vigilant.
Of course. Once I've checked out Remembrance Day, I'm locking myself in my room and throwing away the key.
Phelan, you've already been to the Hollow and made it back safely?
Did you run all the way here? Do you need a moment? We've already been to the Hollow, but unfortunately, we haven't found the client yet.
I'm fine. Did you find any clues there?
There are traces left behind. Signs of a kidnapping. It's very likely the client was involved.
That's right. It seems the client was kidnapped, taken into the Hollow, and later moved again. We're still looking for more clues. So, what made you rush over to the store?
Well, just take a look for yourself. I checked a map of New Eridu. This spot, it's another Hollow entrance.
We were just stressing over a lack of leads, and now one conveniently falls into our laps? Something about this feels off.
You're sure it's just a disappearance for now and nothing more serious has happened, right? If that's the case, the situation is still manageable. No matter how shaky the clue is, let's keep investigating. Just be careful. any casualties, and this will become something beyond our control. At that point, stop the commission and contact me. I'll bring in some professional holo experts to deal with the situation.
Thank you for not revealing what really happened to that information broker.
Don't mention it, but why keep secrets? From a practical standpoint, wouldn't calling for backup have been the safer move?
The killer is a sniper who has no qualms about taking lives. Judging by the victim's injuries, it's clear they know how to deal a fatal blow and how to inflict pain without causing death. Most holo raiders lack experience dealing with snipers. If they encounter the killer, it's likely to end in a difficult fight, or worse, casualties. And besides, asking for help from others would only delay the search. The client is at risk right now, so I think we should follow the clues and enter the holo as soon as possible to ensure their safety.
I may have kept it from Shepard, but I have to admit, it's too dangerous. That location message seems cagey. It could be a trap to lure us in.
I understand, I really do. But what if we're late and something happens to the client?
Why is the client so important to you, Charon? Would you be willing to tell us? Are you so set on finding them because they're connected to the person you've been looking for?
The client's true identity might be the very person I've been looking for. And if not, they most certainly have some vital information. Since leaving the military, I've spent years searching for my missing teammates. They were more than just comrades who trusted me with their lives. To me, someone raised as an orphan, they were family. I've scoured countless holos and every corner of New Eridu to find them, but I've never found a single lead. Until I met you and heard that melody on the harmonica. It's called Homecoming. My squad leader composed it. Only our squad knew it. And yet that client of yours not only knows the song, but also gave you the sheet music. Please, Proxy. This client is the only lead I have left. I'm certain my teammates are still alive. If this trail goes cold, I don't know when I'll get another chance to reunite with them.
I understand how anxious you must be right now. We can help you, but we really need to be careful this time.
Thank you, Proxy. I feel much better knowing I have your support. You can trust me. I'll protect you if the killer is really waiting for us in the holo. We'll make it out in one piece.
This is the path I follow. Strike!
I'm at your thank you for the recognition.
Looks like there's something here. Is this?
Proxy, look at this. A communicator left right at the holo's entrance.
Why is there a communicator here? It doesn't look like it was left behind randomly.
There's hardly any dust on its surface, which means it was only placed here recently. It looks like someone wants us to use it.
Ah, such decisiveness. Following random location info without even thinking twice. I'm glad, Sniper of Liar Squad.
Who are you? And the Sniper of Liar Squad? Are you talking about Charon?
Sniper. Or should I say Charon now? Haven't you shared your past with our dear Proxy? If introductions aren't your strong suit, I'd be happy to show you how. You can call me Grim Vulture, the one behind this string of murders. You see, I've been working my way down a list, crossing off names. And now, Charon of Liar Squad, your name is next.
Looks like you've done your homework on me. Just because my presence interfered with your plan, you've decided to take me out for good?
I thought you were just going to be another obstacle in my way. But now, with you in my sights, this must be some kind of destiny.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I'm looking for someone. Given that you're waiting at the hollow entrance they shared, I'm guessing you have them. If you hand them over, perhaps we can make a deal.
So your version of making a deal is stalling for time to locate me and lining up your shots? Can't say I'm surprised. After all, that's exactly what I plan to do too. You seem to have rather unique eyes, but you'll never get the chance to hit me. After all, no one's better at counter-sniping than me.
Seems talking won't resolve this, but I'm not averse to using force.
Now that's the spirit! If you're looking for someone, why not search the hollow for clues? Providing you can survive both my attacks and those of the ethereals, of course. Oh, and I prepared a little gift for all your trouble. I hope you still have that determined look on your face after seeing it.
Watch out for Grim Vulture taking shots from afar.
Fine.
Is there nothing we can do? I found a box.
Remember what's inside the box, right? Your loyal teammate's cap, the one Styx always wore.
Waiting.
Amateur.
Curious as to how he died? I'll tell you. He took his own life. Well, it wasn't much different from being off by ethereals.
I'll pierce right through.
Ethereals had almost complete.
Another high-pressure ether tank. and a lot of ethereals have already been drawn to it.
We did it, Proxy. Let's keep moving.
Acheron's favorite gloves. It wasn't easy getting my hands on them. As expected of such a famous, beautiful commander, even her gloves are stylish.
My blade is already sheathed.
Such a pity. In the end, all her hands are missing. Don't you think that's a shame, little sniper? Such beautiful hands, but they can no longer hold the sword. Ethereal's gnawed off her arms, and part of her leg as well. But she still had some backbone. She stood tall, even in It's just as I said. She died from multiple fatal wounds. Even the most beautiful flower will wither without protection. Congratulations! You found the third box. Inside is... Who was it again? Oh, right. A piece of bloody fabric, some Cocytus's clothes, and some damaged engineering gear stained with Lethi's blood. There weren't enough boxes, so I had to cram them together. They're just a medic and an engineer. Not exactly combat material, right? Surely you're not mad, are you?
That's enough. Using her squad mates who are like family to mentally torture her. How much longer are you planning on doing this?
Oh dear, did I go too far? My sincerest apologies. It's just, watching you plunge headfirst into my trap was so entertaining. I may have gotten a bit carried away, you know? Relax, the person you're looking for isn't here, and those are just fakes. I didn't actually take them from her comrades. Her comrades are long since corpses in the hollow, after all. How could I possibly have gotten hold of their clothes? impressive strike to be sure. But as I've already said, your awareness, sight, and experience mean nothing in front of a more skilled sniper.
I didn't expect to kill you so easily. There was a subtle change in your ether fluctuations the moment I fired. That was all I needed. You knowing my past makes me feel sick. But after seeing that you're just a coward who feels fear from another's killing intent, it doesn't bother me as much anymore.
Coward, you say? How fascinating. You were little more than a hollow shell before. But now that you've bared your teeth, you've started looking somewhat respectable. I know your composure is nothing more than a facade. You've never truly faced the weight of your comrades' deaths, have you? I bet your mind is now filled with their dying screams.
We both believe her squad is still alive. You can stop with the lies. Why are you so fixated on Charon? Just because she used to serve in the defense force? She has nothing to do with your target.
Nothing to do with it? Then why don't you go ask her about it? What surprises me more is you actually believe her teammates are still alive. Don't tell me she dragged you into all this danger without telling you anything.
Shut up.
If she won't tell you, I will. Those so-called alive squad mates of hers went missing during the fall of the old capital. I'm sure you know exactly what that means. When the old capital fell, countless Defense Force soldiers were either killed by ethereals or became them. The surviving soldiers, struggling to defend themselves, never had the opportunity to carry their comrades' bodies out of Hollow Zero. Obviously, her squad mates, the members of Liar Squad, were among the dead. But since their bodies were never found, she insists they're still alive. Even going as far as to deceive her own proxy. It's laughable.
I didn't lie to the proxy. They're alive. I have proof. Someone like you could never understand.
I could never understand? You think it's hard to understand your childish thought process? If you really have solid proof, why not tell me? Come on, let's hear it!
My eyes. I lost nearly 90% of my vision during the fall of the old capital. But in return, I gained the ability to see what others can't. Every second of every day for years, I've seen my squad mates. Not as fleeting shadows, but vivid and lifelike. They've never disappeared. They're alive, waiting for me to find them. Why else would I have been given these eyes?
That's your proof? Did you hear that? Proxy hiding in the bang boom. She spent years chasing after people who couldn't possibly exist, all because of some ghostly visions. You'd rather believe those visions of your teammates are real-time projections than accept that they're dead. What if I told you the way I described their deaths before was the absolute truth? Will you finally face reality? Or will you keep fooling yourself, believing in ghosts? I guess you'll keep deceiving yourself. Because that's how you survive.
I'm not lying to myself. I really
want to find your squad mates who have been missing for years and were officially declared dead? You couldn't protect them when the old capital fell, and now you're just making up stories to fool yourself. To give yourself some so-called reason to go on, to latch on to any stupid excuse. You're just a selfish, naive coward who did nothing and couldn't do anything when your comrades were dying. Giving up already? At least you've got a shred of dignity left. Nothing disgusts me more than a useless hypocrite. Enough of this. Time to die, coward.
Charon is not a coward. Someone who enters the hollows despite the condition of their eyes is anything but a coward. At the very least, she's far braver than a criminal like you, who hides in the shadows, enjoys torturing others, and is constantly in fear of being caught.
Roxy,
Your proxy sure has a way with words. I won't waste any more of my breath. Just die already.
I've completed analysis of the surrounding fissures. Charon, snap out of it. We can use that fissure to escape.
Fissures? When did you... Still trying to play tricks.
Charon? Do you want some hot cocoa? I'm sure you're exhausted after such a tough fight. You should get some rest.
Thanks, but I'm fine.
Don't listen to Grim Vulture. They'd say anything to get under your skin. Once we start doubting the truth, we've fallen into their trap.
No, Proxy. I think Grim Vulture has a point. Maybe it's all just in my head. The things Grim Vulture left. When I touched them, I was reminded of the day the old capital fell. I felt the same sensation when I touched an injured comrade. I tried to shake off that feeling, but the truth is, I can't stop thinking about the possibility that all my squad mates are dead.
Would you be willing to share more? What really happened on the day the old capital fell with you and the Liar Squad?
That day, in the first hour Hollow Zero started expanding, Defense Force HQ thought it was just a normal hollow disaster, and thought they could suppress it with the standard amount of troops. Liar Squad was among the first troops sent there. Before we left, our superiors promised reinforcements would be on the way to support us in combat, so we didn't need to worry too much about facing the Ethereals. But soon after we began the mission, we realized things weren't going to go like we thought. The Ethereals came at us like an endless tide. The Hollow expanded beyond control, and more importantly, the reinforcements never came. The Defense Force troops outside the Hollow soon realized this was no ordinary disaster. Hollow Zero was devouring Eridu at horrifying speed. The reinforcement plan was called off, and the promised troops retreated. Honestly, even if they had come to help, it wouldn't have changed anything. I watched as members of the advanced force around me died one after another, or were corrupted into Ethereals. Our squad slowly lost the strength to maintain formation. I was a weak point in our formation. An ether shot fired by an Ethereal hit my eyes, corrupting them. Because of that and several other wounds, I shortly lost consciousness. I'm not sure how long I was out, but just before losing my vision, I briefly regained consciousness. The last thing my eyes saw was my squad mate standing in front of me, looking back. When I woke up again, I was already back at base. The higher-ups detonated the Shiryu pillars, and finally managed to bring Hollow Zero under control. I don't know who rescued me from the Hollow, but none of my squad mates had made it out. For some reason, the image of my squad mates being the last thing I saw has stayed in my mind. It must be some kind of sign. A sign that they're still alive. don't you think? They must have continued fighting after I fell unconscious, eventually getting lost in some hollow and losing contact with the main force, left to wander between the various hollows of New Eridu. That must have been what happened, right? The Defense Force, civilians, no one believes me. So I decided to find them myself. The reason behind these eyes, it's got to be to guide me to finding them still alive. Am I wrong, Proxy? Are these eyes pointless? I knew that's what you thought. Interpreting what my eyes see as proof my squad mates are still alive is just wishful thinking. But if they're really gone, why would I have been given these eyes, which bring nothing but pain, if they're truly no longer alive? How can I apologize to them in person? Tell them I'm sorry. Sorry for being so weak. Sorry that I failed to protect them. Their faces are all so blurry. I can't see their expressions. I can't even bear to look at them. If their final look at me was filled with resentment and disappointment, I wouldn't know how to handle it.
Charon, listen to me. Even if everyone else thinks you're wrong, Belle and I will always stand by your resolve to find your squad mates. You don't need to make any justifications. Because someone close to us is missing too, and we desperately hope she's still alive. Even if the whole world doesn't understand, we will never give up. But I also think, being consumed by this obsession, unable to move forward, that's not what those who matter to us would want.
That's right. Charon, you're a very kind person. Maybe that's why you feel responsible for protecting everyone, and regret when you can't do enough. But you don't have to carry it all on your own.
Yeah, you can trust us to have your back. We're certain that Grim Vulture hasn't killed the client yet. As long as we have a lead, there's still hope, and we'll be your support. Your will and determination shouldn't be dismissed. No matter how things turn out, we'll stand by your side, and we'll face it together.
Roxy, thank you. I feel better now. At the very least, I want to keep investigating. I'm not just going to stop here.
Sorry to disturb you at this hour. Did you go investigate that new hollow? How's it going? Oh, never mind. The client just shared a new location with me on Knock Knock.
They're pretty eager, huh? Which hollow is it this time?
No, it's not a hollow. If I'm reading this right, this location is Scott Outpost.
Scott Outpost? Isn't that managed by the Defense Force and White Star Institute? What's Grim Vulture up to?
It's Remembrance Day. Don't you recall what Aaron said before? They're holding an event right now, and the place will be open to the public.
So they're not trying to lure us into a hollow this time. What's the deal? They trying to taunt us?
Whether it's a provocation or a trap, I'm not missing any chance to face Grim Vulture. Proxy, will you go with me?
sorry for being mean to you before. Mom told me you were protecting Dad until the very last moment before you passed out. I shouldn't have said you left him to die.
I'm really sorry. Zita was really young when it happened, so she was too little to understand, and I haven't really talked about it. I hope she didn't upset you.
No, she was right. If only I'd been strong enough to take down most of the ethereals, maybe they wouldn't have ended up in that situation.
Oh, that's not fair. The old capital was falling. No single person's strength could ever be the deciding factor in the face of a disaster like that.
In spite of it all, you survived. If they were still here, I'm sure they'd see that as something to celebrate.
I've always known the truth. I failed to protect them. A weakling like me survived, and the rest of them disappeared without a trace. This isn't solace. It's the worst possible outcome. That's something I can't face. I've never had the courage to tell you I couldn't protect your loved ones. All I can do is wander New Eridu, hoping to find some trace of them. Even after all this time, I still haven't accomplished anything. I'm sorry.
You really don't know us at all. This isn't the worst possible outcome by any means. Styx, my husband, and all his comrades who lost their lives, each one of them left behind their own legacy. Just look all around you. Everyone standing before you with a legacy they protected that is carried on to this day. After my husband passed away, Zita and I received survivor benefits. And with all the odd jobs I've been doing, we've managed to get to where we are today. Styx always wanted our daughter to study art, and Zita's interested in it too. Now, that dream has become a reality. She just got accepted into the art school in Janus Quarter.
Mom and I have our tough days, but I often think of Dad's cheerful laughter, and that memory gives me the strength to keep pushing through. One day, it'll all pay off, just like it has now.
Thank you for always being by my husband's side, even at the very end.
Well, I suppose you must have heard about my condition from my son?
Ethel, Kakaitis used to tell me about you. He often took leave or skipped work to earn extra money by part-timing, or to care for you when you were sick in bed.
Yes, that's true, but I bet he never told you my illness became so bad that I needed major surgery, and he worked his tail off to raise the money. Who would have thought he would pass before me? I used the benefits from his death for the surgery, and that's the only reason I'm here today. In a way, his passing allowed my life to continue. Every time I think about it, I feel like I need to keep my body healthy and live a few more years. The sights I see, I believe he can sense them from somewhere far away. When I was too weak to take care of him, it was you and your comrades who stayed by his side. Thank you for everything that you've done for him.
As for me, well, I'm currently working as a fashion designer.
A fashion designer? Is that because of Acheron?
It is. I'm sure you remember how much she loved beautiful things. She was always into fashion, so I decided to become part of that world. That way, she can always be with me. I admit I had no idea how fun fashion design could be until I actually gave it a shot. I wish I'd figured that out sooner. We would have had so much more to talk about. Anyway, I'm planning to start my own fashion brand next year. She used to say that after retiring from the army, she wanted to pursue fashion design. I really want to carry on her dream. It feels like my life's purpose. You know, she used to talk about you when she came home for the holidays. How your rivalry pushed her to keep improving. So, thank you. I'm proud of my sister. And I'm proud of you, too.
As you can see, all of us have made it to this day, carrying the will of those we loved. So please don't say they left nothing behind. They've always been a part of every pain and joy we've experienced over the years. Please remember, everything and everyone in New Eridu is only here today because you all risked your lives in battle.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's been wonderful to hear about how you're all doing and to listen to these words. I'm so glad I decided to come here on Remembrance Day.
Speaking of which, I wasn't expecting to see any of you. What brings you here today?
I could ask you the same thing, Ethel. Last time I asked, you said you weren't coming. I only came because I suddenly got a DM from Nathan. He said he really wanted me to be here.
I'm here because of Nathan's message, too. He was pretty insistent, so I thought he'd be here. But I've been looking around for a while now. I still haven't seen him.
So it's the same for all of us. I responded to his message, but he never wrote back. Isn't that strange?
Sorry, but who's this Nathan you're talking about?
Nathan is Lethe's younger brother. Frankly, out of all of us, he's probably the one who wants to see you the most. He used to be part of the defense force himself, and...
The day the old capital fell, his squad was responsible for supporting the forces that had already entered the Hollow, which included all of you. He's told us that story so many times. When they saw how bad things were in that Hollow, some of the reinforcements called off their plans and pulled back. He tried to stop them, but there was nothing he could do.
He always blamed himself and wanted to find you to apologize. But the truth is, the reinforcements retreating was inevitable. Shortly after their retreat, headquarters issued the official order. We all lost someone in that disaster. And for a while, we resented the reinforcements for their decision. But over time, we came to understand it, and we eventually let it go. There was no avoiding casualties in that battle. In hindsight, it wasn't wrong for headquarters to prioritize saving their strength.
May I ask what the name of Nathan's squad was when he was in the defense force?
The Impera squad of the Obsidian Division. Is something wrong?
Nothing. It's just... I think I might have stumbled upon the answer I was looking for. Is that Zoe on the podium?
Is she here to speak on behalf of the soldiers? A decorated veteran. That seems fitting. But I don't see Jesse or Aaron around. Didn't they come?
Everyone please, quiet down. Zoe, of Nemesis Squad, a representative of the veterans, will now deliver the Remembrance Day speech.
Hello, everyone. I'm honored to stand here and speak on behalf of all of the soldiers of the Defense Force. Today, we gather to commemorate Remembrance Day, a day born from the tragedy of the old capital's fall. Many of us lost relatives or friends in the disaster, and I am no exception. Every member of my squad perished in that battle, leaving me as the only survivor. Losing the friends you cherish to the Hollow is a pain that never fades. It's a sorrow that will stay with us, now and forever. However, to the families of the fallen soldiers, hold your heads high with pride for your loved ones who gave their lives. They fought to the very last moment when the old capital fell. Death isn't the end, nor dishonor. It is their eternal medal. They gave their lives facing an unstoppable disaster, exchanging their sacrifice for the world we have today. In doing so, they fulfilled their duties as soldiers to perfection. Without the blood they spilled, Eridu would not have endured, and new Eridu would never have risen from the ashes. In honor of the wishes of the departed, look ahead, people of New Eridu. Our thoughts and remembrance of those who passed will be carried in every flicker of candlelight and in every bouquet of flowers. My speech was meant to end here, but since you all seem quite engaged, please allow me to share a little more. The reason you all agree with what I've said is because it offers a way to step away from the pain. That's what the living do. They seek ways to ease the weight of others' deaths, so they can find a way to start over. This is the new Eridu of today. A huge disaster consumed the old capital, and the people who survived it keep saying things like, treasure the moment and start fresh to numb themselves, hoping to forget the nightmare. No one talks about the soldiers who gave their lives in Hollow Zero. No one asks why they had to die. The brave gave their lives battling the ethereal onslaught, while the weak survived. This is a new Eridu, built by weaklings. Its order founded upon their way of thinking. Your applause makes me realize you all accept this logic. Each of you had loved ones who sacrificed their lives in the fall of the old capital. And now, you're thankful that someone has encouraged you to move on from them. What meaning does the sacrifice of those who died have if you all choose to forget? Have you never thought about why your own loved ones had to die? And why no one is responsible for their deaths?
Miss Zoe, there's not much time left for your,
Open your eyes! I'm speaking to those who have lost loved ones! If death is the medal for the fallen, then pain is the cross the living must bear. If you fear its weight and run from the suffering, the soldiers will never find peace in their eternal rest. To tear the wound open once again, so you'll never forget the searing pain. That's the real meaning of Remembrance Day.
I don't agree.
Charon, I didn't expect you to be here for Remembrance Day. How are things going with your search? Seems like you have something to say.
Among the people standing here, there's a woman who raised her daughter with the survivor benefits left by her husband. Another who's been able to carry on with her life thanks to the final efforts of her child. And yet another who's found purpose because of the influence of his late sister. The will of the deceased lives on in every person here. The soldiers who died during the fall of the old capital fought for this. The future that their loved ones are making for themselves now. The old me might have agreed with what you said, but someone taught me that pain and hardship can lead to hope. They helped me see that hope could be inherited, not just destroyed when life fades. That's why I believe the departed didn't leave us wounded or with a heavy cross to bear, but with a melody. Each of us holds a harmonica that plays the melody of life. At first, it may sound awkward, but it will eventually flow smoothly, taking on our own style, until it merges with our soul.
You seem quite certain about what you're saying. Tell me then, what kind of melody is left behind by those we've lost?
I'm not sure. I can't picture the exact melody, but I trust the answer I've chosen. And I trust everything I've seen and heard.
A vague and insubstantial answer, isn't it? I was right about you, Charon. From the moment we met, I knew we'd never really understand each other.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Everyone, I apologize for taking up your time. My speech ends here. Please feel free to continue with your visit.
What do you think, Proxy?
Her demeanor and what she said earlier. Something was clearly off. I have a bad feeling.
You mean about her real identity, right? Looks like we're on the same page. Shielded by her identity as a decorated soldier, she seemed pretty confident that we wouldn't confront her directly on military ground, like at the outpost. She arrived so brazenly and left without a care. If I'm right about this, she'll be trying to contact us again in no time.
Looks like you're a little busy, so I'll keep it short. The client just sent me a location via Knock Knock, along with a picture of several unconscious, tied-up individuals. I'll send you the location shortly. It should be an entrance to the Hollow in Port Elpis. At this stage, I don't have any further requests. My only hope is that you'll proceed with caution.
A location with a picture of the hostages. Looks like Grim Vulture is losing patience and wants to put an end to all this.
Charon, what's your plan? No matter what you decide, I'll stay by your side till the end.
I've made up my mind. Proxy, please accept my official commission. Help me venture into the depths of the Hollow to rescue the client and any other hostages. It's time to put an end to this. It's up to me to stop Grim Vulture. Stop her from crushing everything in front of her with that heavy cross.
This is the path. My blade is ready.
I'm at your disposal. Your wish is my command.
Charon, look! Another communicator.
Another communicator. It's a bad habit for a sniper to be so talkative.
Oh, really? I think it's rather good for my mental health to witness in real time how my target becomes desperate and gives up their struggle.
Do you really still need to disguise your voice? I thought you didn't want to hide anymore, Zoe.
You're right. Seems there's no need for secrecy anymore. I, Zoe, the sniper known as Grim Vulture of Nemesis Squad, send you my regards.
Zoe. No. Grim Vulture. You, like me, were one of the advanced troops deployed to suppress Hollow Zero right after the fall of the old capital, right? Noct, Cartes, and Impera Squad. So far, all the victims have been members of these squads. They were initially supposed to enter the Hollow to reinforce the advanced troops. Nemesis, your squad lacking reinforcements, lost everyone except you in the fall of the old capital. You blamed their deaths on the absence of reinforcements and sought revenge on them. That's my conclusion. Just like me. The fall of the old capital left you entirely alone.
A sniper, the sole survivor, a mere pawn abandoned by the military. Don't you think we're very much alike? The Impera squad member, Nathan, the one you're searching for, he pleaded with me to let him go when I was about to kill him, saying he had to see you no matter what. That's how you caught my attention. I let him live to get all sorts of information on you. I was so curious about you that I even set a trap, disguising myself as a victim to get closer to you. It turned out we share the same story. We even got the same PTSD symptoms. After all these years, we still see images of our teammates before they die. It's impossible to erase them from our minds. It's just, you use ridiculous fantasies to numb yourself, chasing after illusions of your squad mates, while I can't afford to be as naive as you. One night, when I was overwhelmed with the unbearable images of my comrades' deaths, vomiting and crying, I finally realized the meaning behind their appearance before me. They were pleading with me, pleading for vengeance against those who abandoned us, begging me to destroy the repulsive, hypocritical new order of New Eridu. So, I carried on their will. I began kidnapping targets and sniping them in the Hollow, watching as they became corrupted and died in despair.
You really think this is what they'd want?
What else? Would they want me to be like you, playing at a game of finding my missing squad mates, accepting their deaths when I'm done playing, and then forgiving the very enemy who killed them? What a noble and virtuous gesture! Forgive on behalf of fallen comrades, coexist with New Eridu's order, and live peacefully among cowards. It's precisely because you and I are so similar that this hypocritical and cruel attitude makes it even harder for me to forgive you. After our first conversation, I was certain I must end your life myself to prove I'm right.
That's exactly what I wanted to say to you, too. Because we've suffered the same hardships, I can't accept the path of destruction you've chosen. Jesse, Aaron, Nathan, the client I've been searching for, and any other targets of revenge you've set your sights on. They all feel regret and struggle over the choices they made back then. But you can't see any of that. You didn't target the higher-ups who misjudged the situation, the dangerous ethereals who killed your comrades, or the ones responsible for the fall of the old capital. Instead, you went after the easiest targets. Grim Vulture, as a sniper of the Eridu Defense Force, you have failed in your duty. To preserve the will and hope left by my comrades, I'm going to put an end to your actions right here!
That suit
suits me just fine. A sniper should let the gun do the talking. Make it to the deepest part of the hollow alive, and I'll meet you with nothing but raw melon. Since you made it here, let me reward you with a few things you don't know.
Here.
Nox, Cartus, Impura, and many other squads. Did you know the reinforcements that were meant to back us up ended up deciding to retreat? Relying on the show of hands to vote, isn't that ridiculous? Our lives were discarded.
Jesse and Aaron, do you have them too? Or are they already...
You still care about them? Or should I say... It looks like I haven't made enough of a threat to your life if you still have the time to worry about them.
The wind and rain are picking up.
Extreme weather is perfect for sending you to your grave. No one will hear your screams and cries as you die.
Keep it back.
By the time the rain stops, the only thing left will be your cold corpse. I wonder, who made it to the deepest part of the hollow and climbed up? Ah! Such determination deserves praise! Now, it's time for the final showdown to be real.
You're in my sight. It's over.
But really, it's the only way to put it. What sniper would ever
The real failure as a sniper is the one who's been forced into a corner, like you!
The wind. It's shifting.
I won't fall for your distractions so easily.
I will surpass you with my own melody of victory. And let the wind be the opening notes.
Charon! No! Wake up! Charon! That's...
Just you? Where's your friend, the proxy?
The proxy went to rescue the hostages. I want to speak with you alone. A sniper should always monitor the changes to their surroundings, factoring the environment into their tactics. Being blinded by the intent to kill and failing to take this into account was your downfall.
Didn't expect to be lectured by a youngster. What a disgrace. When my view was blocked, I realized you'd used the visual blind spot to reposition, so I adjusted my aim accordingly. But I still couldn't hit you.
Your prediction and accuracy were spot on. I was just saved once again by this. By both this harmonica, and by my former comrades.
Are you trying to say that this is destiny? That it's the will of my companions guarding me? I lost to the wave of ethereals, to the military's betrayal. And now I lose to your reckless actions, driven by some ridiculous fantasy. Your fantasy, your attitude, your very existence, and the outcome of this battle. They are the greatest denial and insult to my revenge.
Yet you're emitting a much calmer ether energy now. Almost as if you found relief.
My vision is fading. I can't see my comrades on the brink of death anymore. My wounds are fatal. I don't feel any pain. Relief. It's not such a bad thing.
Did you intend for me to kill you from the start?
Let me answer that question with a story. The first time I saw you was actually during the fall of the old capital. My comrades were all dead, and the reinforcements the higher-ups promised before the mission never came. I can't even remember how long the fight went on. Ultimately, I had no choice but to retreat, failing to bring back my squad mates' bodies. I made my way through one battle line after another. The advanced troops were nearly wiped out. But when I reached a certain front, a small squad of survivors called out to me. Few people can still stand after such severe corruption and injury, but all 5 of them were still fighting. They were protecting a girl who had lost her sight and fallen unconscious while searching for a way out of the hollow. They told me they were beyond saving, and if I planned to retreat, I must take the girl with me. I couldn't turn down the last request of a group of heroic soldiers about to die in battle. Your comrades entrusted your life to me. I was the one who brought you out of the hollow. You already know what happened afterward. It didn't take long for you to leave the Defense Force after you came to. Just like me, I developed PTSD so intense that sometimes I couldn't even hold a normal conversation. But for me, the hardest blow was the death of my squad. To an orphan like me, they were family. If the reinforcements had kept their word and provided support, they wouldn't have died for nothing. Don't you ever have that thought?
To say I don't would be a lie, but I think deep down you know. From the moment we stepped into the hollow, there was no way we were getting saved. Given how quickly the hollow was spreading, and the ever-increasing number of ethereals, it would take the sacrifice of countless Defense Force troops to suppress it. It wasn't something that could have been accomplished in such a short time. The reinforcements would have only been a drop in the bucket. More sacrifices without results. Canceling the reinforcements, sending the advanced troops to rescue as many civilians as possible to minimize casualties. I think most commanders would have made the same decision.
Objective and cold logic. I understand it, of course. But when you see members of the reinforcements living happy lives years later, Can you still keep your composure? I couldn't. Even if the chance was minuscule, I wanted my squad mates to survive. But they turned that chance to zero, and still have the nerve to embrace a peaceful future. I can't help but resent them. By the time I realized what I'd done, I had already taken several lives. Nathan. When I tied him up and was about to kill him, he begged me to spare him, saying he had something to give you, no matter what. That was when you re-entered my line of sight. I think I've said this before. We're very similar, yet we have completely opposite beliefs. After meeting you, I became even more certain. In the face of suffering, I chose destruction, while you were destined to choose to protect. But you're still entangled in your obsession with your squad mates. If this continues, you'll eventually sink into a void of despair. Your hope is like a bubble, ready to burst at any moment. The version of you I want to kill is the complete one, who can firmly reject my answer. If you haven't found your answer yet, then I'll be the one to push you forward. I kill you, or you end me. Either way works. But after seeing your growth, maybe I'd prefer you to step over my body. That's the final answer.
Why?
Emptiness and doubt. No matter how many targets of my revenge I took down, nothing changed. Aiming my gun at former comrades, drowning in hate and rage, all it left was a hollow emptiness. But you're different. You've gained unconditional trust from the proxy. You have the courage to fight through my trap. And eventually, you'll have a melody that's uniquely yours. My belief has faltered. I finally remember. My squad mates were fools, just like you. You're right. They would never want me to become this way. And talk about carrying their cross. But in truth, I never carried their will. So be it. Take the hostage and go. A villain stained with the blood of others deserves nothing but a miserable end. I'm looking forward to how long you'll be able to protect those in front of your eyes. It can still be played after taking a bullet. Impressive.
This is my final melody to you. No matter how miserable you've become, I'll still remember you. Remember we once shared the same path in life. But in the end, our paths diverged. Your hatred has long twisted into sin. But if not for you, I wouldn't have learned how to hate, or found the true targets of my hatred. I used to know nothing. My teammates served as my teachers and taught me so much. And I think you must be my final teacher. You taught me, in the most intense way, what hatred truly means.
Really? So you found someone you want revenge against, too. That's good.
So you're the sniper from Liar Squad. It's nice to finally meet you.
And you must be the one who's been searching for me. Nathan, the younger brother of Lethe. It's good to see you safe and sound.
That's right. I'm sorry for causing all this trouble. I nearly cost you your life, becoming a target of a victim from the fall of the old capital. Maybe that's what I get not helping my brother and the rest of the defense force back then. When the reinforcements decided to retreat, I spoke out against it. I had family among the soldiers already in the Hollow, but I didn't have the courage to take that step. The one that might have cost me my life. I'm sorry.
You don't need to feel regret or apologize. The outcome wasn't something you could have controlled. You cared deeply for Lethe, and even today you still think of him. To someone like him, who always cherished family, that's more than enough.
Thank you. I heard you've been searching for the members of Liar Squad all these years. I'm nothing compared to your determination. Thank you for everything you've done, but please stop the search. It's time for you to start living a life that's truly your own. I hate to say this as a family member, but back then, they were already...
I know. You don't need to say it. I've been drowning in a fantasy of my own making for years, but it's a fantasy that kept me from falling into the abyss. Nathan, Grim Vulture told me you have something you want to give me. Is that why you commissioned someone to find me?
Yes. After learning about the bond between you and your squad, I knew I couldn't live with myself if I didn't get this to you. So I got on my knees and begged Grim Vulture, even playing this recording for her, hoping it would move her. Regardless of how things unfolded, what matters is that it wasn't destroyed, and I'm here, alive, to hand it to you. I found this while going through my brother's belongings. It's been tucked away for years. There's a recording on it, and I think it's a gift Liar Squad made for you, but never had the chance to give you.
Thank you so much. Do you mind if I listen to it now with the proxies?
With me and Belle? We're honored. I thought we were just here to collect the commission fee today.
Go ahead. As for the commission fee, I'll pay it to you both shortly, so don't worry about that.
Hey, hello? Alright, it's a recording. This is a message from Liar Squad for our little sniper. Everyone ready? I'll count down. 3, 2, 1.
Congratulations on your 1,000th day with Liar Squad!
Hey, you guys are totally out of sync. Captain, can we redo this? The anniversary gift has to be perfect.
That's our assault specialist, Acheron. She has a strong sense of aesthetics, prioritizing beauty in both combat and her daily life. She taught me a lot about makeup and fashion.
Oh, she won't care if we're a little off. Forget the re-record. Let's just get it done and order the cake. We don't want him to sell out.
That's our medic, Kakaitis. He's usually lazy and a bit of a smooth talker, but he's actually very capable and kind. He taught me a lot about unconventional negotiation tactics and ways of handling things.
You two, stop arguing during the recording. I've already ordered the cake. If you keep rambling, we really will have to re-record this. Cut the chatter already.
And that Styx, a reliable artillery specialist. He's the oldest in the squad. He loves sharing photos of his daughter and reminiscing about how he wooed his wife. The way he won her over inspired me a lot.
All right, let's all calm down.
wouldn't want to get on the captain's bad side. I mean, Captain, would you like to go first? We can edit or re-record whatever we need to.
That's our scout and engineer, Lethe. He's a bit self-conscious because of how his younger brother excels, and he's somewhat introverted. But he's actually very capable. He taught me sharp observation skills, calm execution under pressure, and how to make use of the environment.
Okay, thank you all for settling down before I completely lost my cool. It's fine. No need to cut anything or re-record. Let's just keep it as it is. Loud and messy, just like our liar squad.
That's our captain, who took me in and taught me how to play the harmonica. And the real Charon. I'll make sure to explain properly to you later, Proxy.
As you've heard, this recording is a little gift from the 5 of us. How time flies. When I brought you into the squad about 2.5 years ago, you were just a shy kid who blushed whenever you talked to someone. Over these 1,000 days, you've really worked hard to keep pace with our fighting rhythm. You've done incredibly well. In the last mission, your successful sniper kill of that high-risk ethereal really helped Acheron a lot. I hate to say it, but yeah, I went too far in last time. Thanks for getting me out of that mess. Just this once, I'll admit, your moves were more elegant in that fight.
Not just that fight. Ever since you became a quicker shot and learned to adjust for wind speeds on the fly, we've been taking fewer and fewer hits. Makes my job way easier. So, cheers.
You often worry about not doing enough. But in these 2.5 years, you've absorbed everything I know about stealth, reconnaissance, and tactical countermeasures. Trust me, you'll become an incredibly skilled sniper.
Having you covering us from the rear makes every fight feel safer. But you still have a lot to learn about socializing and romance. When peace finally comes to Eridu, leave us and live your own life.
Where did that come from? She's not leaving us. Even if she retires, she'll move into my house and I'll spoil her with loads of beautiful clothes. We can talk about living alone in 10 or 20 years. Sorry, I got carried away. Anyway, you're talented and hardworking. Over these 1,000 days, you've opened your heart to us and even encouraged us in return. Having you as a comrade is a blessing for all 5 of us. But I have to say one thing. You're always so sensitive and kind. Every time you see us get hurt, you look like you're about to break. Has our squad motto, having each other's backs, become too much of a burden for you? I get how you feel. When your squad mates trust you with their backs, your first instinct is to protect them, right? But that's not the way it should be. No one can shoulder everything alone. Don't try to carry everything on your own. Choosing to fight on the battlefield is my resolve. Feel it. Share yours with me. And when it's your turn to watch my back, I'll give my all to honor it too.
As long as you fight with all your strength, there's no such thing as failing to protect something, because your will and our will is preserved and carried on in other ways.
But don't let that weigh on you. Try to trust in us, just like we trust in you, no matter what.
I've struggled with that kind of thinking myself, but I eventually made my way through it. All this talk of camaraderie, of keeping each other safe, it's like a harmonica melody scoring our time together. Even when things change, our tune will go on, and that's enough.
Exactly. Honestly, I'm sometimes terrified. Afraid that someday, you'll blame yourself for failing to protect us and fall apart. That's why I wanted to record this message. Please, don't try to bear everything alone. Maybe you can start relying on us more, fully entrusting your vulnerable side to us. Our will has long been intertwined with yours. We're comrades. This is getting way too sentimental. It doesn't feel like me anymore. Anyway, we just want to see you trusting your comrades enough to share your burdens, even if it isn't us. Finally, we'd like to give you the song that's closest to us. If what we've said is hard to understand, just feel it through the music. Please, enjoy my Homecoming.
you remember? I was once terrified of seeing the look on their faces.
Of course. Can you see them clearly now?
Yes, crystal clear. As if I've returned to the exact moment of parting. So this is our last glance. This is the answer you wanted me to find. Thanks, guys. For everything. Proxies. No. Lies. Belle. I've troubled you two a lot these days with my personal affairs. Words can't describe what you've done for me.
No worries. Honestly, my brother and I have been a bit lost recently. Meeting you, though, well, it feels like we've known each other forever. Doesn't it, Wise?
Yeah. We've learned a lot from you, too. If nothing else, spending time with you really cheered us up. Perhaps we've always shared the same resolve.
Yeah. When I was trapped in self-doubt, unable to get out, I'm glad you were there with me. You're right. We've already entrusted our backs to each other as comrades. And because of that, because we are comrades, please, hear me out. Maybe you've already noticed. I'm sorry, but I've been keeping something from you. Charon isn't actually my code name. As I mentioned before, Charon was my captain's code name. When I met both of you for the first time, I didn't want to tell you my code name, because I thought someone who couldn't protect their squad mates had no right to one. So I lied. Captain Charon was an orphan like me, with no family to mourn her. I've been using her code name because I may be the last person in the world who still remembers her. But I understand now. If I want to keep moving forward, I can't keep hiding behind a lie. My true code name is...
You don't have to tell me right now.
Charon, at the harbor, Nathan spoke to you privately. Was he offering you a chance to return to the Defense Force?
Yes. He said he still has a friend in the Defense Force who's currently forming a new squad. And if my goals align with theirs, I could consider joining them.
So, what's your decision? Where will you go next?
After everything that's happened, I think I do share the same goal as that friend of his in the new squad they're building. So I'll head back to the new Eridu Defense Force and keep chasing my new goal with a new team.
Your new goal... Is it to look further into the fall of the old capital?
Yes. My encounter with Grim Vulture has made me realize this should be the true form of my vengeance. I'll uncover the real culprits behind the old capital's fall and make them pay for their crimes. If the ferryman who leads me to the truth demands a price, I'm willing to wager my life. I have a gut feeling the masterminds will reveal themselves again soon. To protect the city my comrades cherished and sacrificed their lives for, I won't allow such a tragedy to happen again. By letting the will to protect guide my hatred, I now have a clear aim toward the truth.
That's what I thought. If that's the case, then for now, we shouldn't learn your true code name, nor entrust our backs to one another.
Are you saying we're on opposite sides?
No. We might walk different paths, but those paths will lead us to the same destination. It's just that, for now, we can't say any more than that.
To be honest, after facing an enemy as ruthless as Grim Vulture, we're reminded of our own powerlessness. Watching you fight back, almost losing your life to a bullet. That feeling. We're nowhere near strong enough to protect you. And we're not strong enough to open up about our pasts either. Sorry.
If this is your slightly selfish principle, I'll respect it. You were once my proxies, and I'll keep this memory locked away as something I cherish. If, as you say, our destination is the same, then we should continue on our separate paths, striving to grow stronger. The next time we meet, I'll reveal my true codename. I hope we can become true comrades. I want your presence to forever remain in the melody of my life.
Yes, it's a promise. We'll cross paths once again, Charon.
Hello. I'm the sniper from the former Liar Squad of the Chrysoberyl Division, recommended by Captain Nathan, originally of the new Eridu Defense Force's Obsidian Division, Impera Squad.
Ah, I heard about you from my superior. You're the one who dealt with the serial murders targeting the Defense Force, right? Well, the new Eridu Defense Force is ready to welcome you back. Let me confirm a few details before taking you to base. Which squad are you applying to join? And did you have a code name during your previous service?
I'm applying to join the Obsidian Division's Ogle Squad. As for my codename... Trigger. I was Trigger of Liar Squad.
Eradicate.
I'm at your disposal.
Let's fire it up! Want a glass of nitro fuel?
Manana. Nada. Nada.
Can't beat a hollow warning. What disaster supplies should you buy? Don't know the escape route. Don't panic. The answer's here. Big nose. Huh?